Hey, what's up guys, John here. You see this house right here? It just sold for $200,000. Well, I just bought a house a couple blocks over that I'm going to show you for $85,000. This house sits on a 6,500 square foot lot. Mine sits on over a 20,000 square foot lot. It's a completely different type of house, but somehow I paid 35 cents on the dollar compared to this guy. Now, when you know what you're doing in real estate and you're in an inflationary world like what we're in right now, you'll realize that the amount of money you could make is endless. When you look at Mike Novogratz, multi-billionaire, he also made $1 billion plus in crypto. He said that he's investing in three things right now: crypto, gold and silver, and real estate. That's what he's investing in: crypto, precious metals, and real estate. You look at Steven Schwarzman, the CEO and founder of Blackstone. He said we're walking into a major upswing in real estate.
40% of what we own, they're going up 12 to 14% a year in rents.
Now, what I believe is going to happen is I believe the federal government is going to print so much money in the next couple of years. We're going to see a major push towards affordable housing. Investors looking to protect their cash because in an inflationary world, it gets more expensive to build homes. So look at, let's say, a house like this, and maybe it's hypothetically 1,000 square foot. If the cost to build that house is $200 a foot, that's $200,000 house plus the cost of the land, right? If that happens. And I think it's going to happen, right? So when you're buying houses where it's $80,000, $90,000 in good neighborhoods and inflation hits, what's going to happen? The values of those properties are going to continue to grow. And I think it's going to grow for three main reasons. Not only the cost to duplicate and replace the property, but retirees looking for an affordable place to live, they're going to migrate from other locations. You're going to have first-time buyers. They're going to want to get out of renting. They're going to want to try to buy a house. And then third, you're going to have institutional investors looking for a return on their cash to protect themselves from inflation and make a lot of money in the process. Now, for example, let me just talk about what these returns are, because I'm closing on 5 total transactions by this week. 3 are already closed, 2 are under contract. $357,000 in purchase prices, all cash, no mortgages. And I'm gonna probably put about 40K, maybe 50K in to bring them up to standards, rent ready. The gross monthly income on these properties will be about $8,450 every single month, north of a 20% per year return on these deals. Where else can you do a deal like that? It's very, very challenging, to be able to duplicate those types of returns. Now, I'm going to show you this house right up the street here. And also, before I even do that, if you're interested in learning about real estate investing, Section 8 real estate investing, and doing deals just like what I'm doing, book a call with me, not kind of a sales guy. When you book a call with me, and I'll tell you kind of like what I'm doing, and you can learn about all this. Now, I think that we have to have at least 100K or more. So I think that what we're going to see here is this major push from institutions into these neighborhoods in the next couple years, next 1 to 3 years, and it's fascinating to witness what unfolded the last couple of years. In 2021, I was talking a lot about how these low interest rates are going to be a really big problem for commercial real estate and a really big problem for a lot of leveraged individuals. Well, where I am right now, you're seeing a lot of individuals that overpaid for properties and they're looking to unload. Let me give you kind of context. So the 5 deals that I'm closing on, 2 were foreclosures. 1 is an investor that bought from Australia. Another was an out-of-state investor. And another is a lady that walked into bad health problems. She doesn't have $100 to her name. Those are the deals. These people are motivated. They're not like, oh, maybe I'd sell if the terms are right. No, like these people are desperate to get these deals done. And when you're buying them for less than land value, and you're able to basically turn these properties for 3 to 5K and get them rent ready, and then you can get your rents guaranteed by the federal government, it's a pretty strong spot to be in. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, John, I don't want to do Section 8 or this and that.
I don't want to.
Section 8, how they define affordable for housing, they define affordable is you shouldn't spend more than 1/3 of your income on rent. If you live in any city in America, you're probably spending $2,500 a month to rent. So that person needs to make $90,000 to $100,000 for them to actually afford their place. My prediction is with inflation, most people are going to be considered low income or Section 8. They're qualified for Section 8. Like, look at this house here. $350,000 to be on a highway. They're on a highway for $350. It gets unbelievable. So that's my prediction. I think we're going to see this major shift to where Section 8 isn't going to be, it's not going to have that negative connotation where they're thinking, oh, Section 8 means, that these people are going to trash your property and this and that. I think the Section 8 program is going to grow rapidly over the next couple of years. And if you're smart and you do Section 8 correctly, meaning you don't just do credit checks, of course I will be doing credit checks on greatcreditfast.com, but not just credit checks, but you're doing background checks, you're doing criminal history checks. You are, you're looking inside of their car when they come in, make sure their car is clean. You ask them, I'm going to follow you home. You want to take a look inside of their house. You want to look at not just their, the references that they give you, because the references they might give you are probably going to be their friends and family. You want to do reverse phone lookups to match the address to that owner. You want to really do your homework, and you want to have a strong system in place, no evictions, nothing like that. And if you do all of your homework, then and the rent, not all of it, but most of it, 80-90% of it's guaranteed by the federal government, and you have very little debt on these properties, you're going to do extremely well. I mean, look at this house here. So this is the place. What street's nicer? What neighborhood's nicer? This one for $85K, or the other one where the houses are they're basically sitting on top of each other. I would argue the other house inside is, a little bit bigger. It's a little bit nicer inside, but the actual land, this is way, way nicer. And that price is 2.5 times this price. So, back here is, it's like a park back here. So another prediction that I have is, years ago, everyone wanted to move to cities because of their jobs. LA, San Francisco, New York City. For the most part, people just wanted to live there for their jobs, and it was like a cool place to live. They had all their friends there. They were going out drinking, clubbing. It was like, the social fabric of society was still there. Now, I would argue that most people don't have the social circle and their friend circle that they had 5 years ago. Not all, but most people don't have that. Most people are not going into the office like they were before, and most people are living in cities, and every single year, their incomes are kind of staying the same or going down a little bit. A lot of people are having a harder time finding jobs, but the cost of living is going up. So their living standards are just continuing to go down. And I think a lot of people are going to say, you know what do I do? I'm never going to own a home in this city. I either have to commit to renting forever. I have to, buy a place with my friend, or, I have to try to find some other way to try to own a home, or I'm going to relocate. The same thing, retirees are thinking the same thing. Like, hey, I'm sitting on 250 grand, but I thought inflation would be 2% a year, and I had a belief that I was going to be able to make this through my retirement. Now I'm looking at 250K, I'd be lucky if this makes it the next 3 years, the next 4 years, right? This is the situation that millions of Americans, I'm talking like 1 or 2 million, tens of millions of Americans are asking themselves this question every single day. What am I going to do for the future? Now, I believe owning deals like this is a really, really, really good alternative. I mean, if you're a retiree, let's just say, for example, you have that 250 for that reference. If you have 250 and you bought this house here for 85K, which I'm going to show you now, you bought it for 85K, your taxes and insurance about 250 bucks a month. If you wanted to rent it out, you could probably make 1250. But if you wanted to just live here, you'd live here with your utilities and everything, maybe 350 a month. And you use the other, call it 150, to buy 2 other houses that can rent for 1,500 bucks each. You do the numbers on that. You could probably retire on 250. You're not going to retire where you're going on vacation all the time, but you can get by. Look at this house on 250. Where else are you doing that? If you live in LA and let's say you're making 250, after state, federal, and city tax, they're taking half your income. Maybe you're making 125, you're making 10 grand a month. The average home price in LA is about $800,000. The mortgage on that with today's interest rates, you're looking at like 5-6 grand a month. How can someone with that income live there? They can't. Right? And most people aren't balling out of control like they pretend to be online. Look at this. Just painted it. Very, very, very simple things. Painted the trim, painted the walls, cleaned it up. I'm going to change out the toilet. There's the toilet right there. The water's not on yet, so I can't do that. Put the light fixture in, mirror, bathroom. Painted the kitchen, removed the ceiling fans, the garbage disposal, anything where we could get service calls. I wanted to basically eradicate that problem before it happens, because you know, ceiling fan it breaks, they call on us. I don't want to deal with it, so we just got rid of all of that. Here's the other bedroom. So decent sized little bedroom. But yeah, I mean, this backyard, if you're on Section 8 and you're a single mom and you got a 10-year-old kid and the kid's playing out there all day, where are you gonna move? You're not. You're gonna wanna stay here and let the kid have his swing out back and have his friends over. And that's what you're gonna wanna do. You're not gonna let this place go.
I'm not leaving.
Here's the downstairs. You got 2 rooms back there. It's about 800 square feet downstairs. And that's the house. I think all in, after the concrete work and everything, maybe $92,000 I'll be in. 92 grand to make $1,250 net a month. Like, it's unreal. Like, I look at what investors were looking to achieve a couple years ago in real estate. If they got a 5% return, that was considered a win, right? People are like, oh yeah, 5% return, 6% return. If inflation is much higher than that, many would argue, and insurance is going to go up as the cost to replace structures are going to go up with inflation. They're going to push that on to insurance. As insurance goes up, taxes go up, cost to manage and service these properties goes up. Borrowing costs go up, mortgage rates. A lot of people bought these commercial properties for 3%, 4% interest rates. Now they're at 7.5. As all that's happening, we're getting crushed. Whereas you can buy these homes with fixed rate debt on them. Now, these 5 houses, I might take out some loans, small loans. I might take out maybe 40, 50 grand per house, where the mortgage is a couple $100, and just continue to repeat the process, buying deal after deal. I'm not 100% sure, and we continue to scale this up. I do believe we're going to start to see so much opportunity over the coming months here, where the amount of money you can make will be endless.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I relocated my entire family from Florida. If I thought, hey, I could make more money in Florida, I would have stayed in Florida. The reason I left Florida is because I believe insurance is going to be a big problem in Florida. I believe that there was a really, really, really big spike in pricing. I believe that we're going to likely see a situation of dynamic commercial real estate, a lot of vacancies. It was a huge bubble that was formed in 2021. There's just a lot more risk, and you're paying a lot more to get into these deals. Here, it's not the situation, not the case. I feel like, come here, you buy a bunch of these houses, and if you wanted to, move somewhere else 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you could do it, and it would basically, all these rentals would basically just offset all of your, expenses anywhere else. But it all comes down to doing it the right way, having the right plan, the right strategy. I did so much research before I chose where I am right now. I don't know if people remember, I went to Phoenix, I went to Austin, I went to LA, San Francisco, Denver, all those videos, all those travel videos. I wasn't just doing it for entertainment. I was going to all these different markets and all these sub-markets and tertiary markets, doing research, studying, learning. And I spent, 3 weeks on the road with my family, studying all these different markets all across America to end up where I am right now. This isn't like I didn't just throw a dart on the board. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go here. That wasn't what happened. I really looked at landlord-tenant laws. I looked at the amount of applications that are outstanding for Section 8. How many people are really looking for housing? I started looking at crime demographics, really studying everything. And I'm like, okay, this area right here, like you're gonna have a hard time losing money. That was my belief. And to be able to, come here and inside of 5-6 weeks, and when these homes are done in the next, call it, we got the holidays coming, so probably mid-January, when all these homes are done, to pull in $7,000 net every single month on a $400K investment, that's unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable. Imagine, you borrow a little bit of money on these houses, maybe $50K each. You borrow a little bit of money, and then you buy 2 or 3 or 4 more, and you get that income to $9,000, $10,000 a month in net income.
Hello, I like money.
It offsets working for somebody else for 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, and then at the end, 4, 5, 10, 20 years later, they let you go to outsource the job to another country. That's what they're doing now. They're looking to cut their costs. Now I share all this because I know for a fact that there's great alternatives out there. If you're looking at the world saying, you know what, it's too expensive, it's just probably too expensive where you live. But there's a lot of alternatives, a lot of options. There's so much opportunity to make a lot of money. If you'd like to learn kind of what I'm doing, where I'm investing, my strategy, you know, if you have 100K minimum or more to invest, you can click the link in the description and I can kind of just share with you kind of what I'm doing. And you know, you'll have the conversation with me. It won't be, you know, somebody else. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think about this deal? $85,000. Catch you next video.